Hey Tommy, do you know what that is behind me?
Yeah, the Pro-4X Titan.
Yep, it's the brand new 2020 Pro-4X, and right now we're going to do a TFL buddy review, and because of social distancing, it's just me and my son, so let's get right to it, Tommy. And first and foremost, there's a bunch of things that are no longer available when you get a Nissan Titan. Do you know what those are?
Yep, the primary thing is there's no longer a single cab Titan.
Yep, and there's only one engine choice. So in this video, we're gonna go for a ride. We're gonna find out how fast it is from 0 to 60. We're gonna see how loud the cabin is. We're gonna see how good the ride is. And of course, we're gonna start off by giving you a walk around of the new design. So Tommy, why don't you do that? Do you guys love trucks? If so, we've got a new podcast that will keep you entertained for hours, from on-road to off-road, from Raptors to Frontiers to Tacomas. Check out tfltruck.com/podcast or go to wherever you get your favorite podcast, including Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Spotify.
For 2020, the Nissan Titan has had a refresh, a much-deserved refresh that makes it look a lot better, a lot more competitive with the other full-size offerings in the market. This is the Pro-4X model, which is the off-road trim, and I love the way they've incorporated orange across the entire vehicle here. So orange in the badging, orange tow hooks, Pro-4X here in the grille. It really makes it feel like a standout model, not just another trim line. Here on the side here, you'll see the 18-inch wheels wrapped in general grabber off-road tires. Titan side steps here once again with orange here. I like how they did that rather than just cutting out Titan and making it see-through or clear. They've actually incorporated this orange backing, and orange of course makes any truck better off-road. Oh, look, you got a little step there.
There's a little step here, and of course you've got a big piece of plastic on the back tailgate now with the orange Nissan. Now in terms of towing capacity, it's only about 9,300, which is okay, but when you think about the fact that Ford and both Chevy are well over 13,000, it's a little on the low side, wouldn't you say, Tommy?
There's your bed lining in this truck. You've got tie downs here along these bed rails. And I do like these new tail lights as well. So you've got kind of this T outline here that's incorporated throughout the truck, which outlines a Titan. This big piece of plastic my dad referred to, I think is called an applique. Not just huge plastic piece, but...
Actually, I don't know if that's an applique. I think that's a big piece of plastic molding.
It's an applique.
An applique would be more like, you know, when you had the fake woodies and they stuck that fake wood on the side? That's an applique. But let's go look under the hood.
No, they just stuck plastic on the side. That's applique.
Well, let us know in the comments below what an applique is. But the real big change, of course, is under the hood. And once again, it's one of these little caveat things, because Nissan will tell you on their website that this is now the most powerful engine you could buy in a full-size truck. What is it, Tommy, and how many horsepower, and what's the caveat?
Well, the caveat, it's the most powerful engine standard in a full-size truck. So if you want a Titan, it's going to come standard with 400 horsepower through this 5.6 liter V8, but 400 horsepower only if you use premium fuel. So you got to get the good quality dyno juice if you want to make the most power.
Yeah, and standard, right? Because Chevy does offer a 6.2 that has 420 horsepower, but you pay more for that. In this one, it comes standard. Perhaps the more important news is that it's now paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission, which is good because that means better fuel economy. We'll talk about that in a little bit. You know, I love both this 5.6 Nissan V8 and the 5.7 Toyota V8, but the one thing about both of these engines are they're thirsty. Bulletproof, but thirsty. All right, there's some good news and there's some bad news in the interior of the truck. First, they've updated pretty much everything. They've made a little bit higher quality of plastics, higher quality of materials. It's just a nicer place to be, and they've built in this massive sunroof. The first time you can get such a giant sunroof in a Titan. But look at me, my least favorite thing in the world, because this massive sunroof takes about 2 inches of a headroom. I'm sitting in this back seat and my hair is hitting the top of the roof. That's no good, Tommy, but plenty of legroom. Of course, it is a full-size truck, and look at that, you even get 2 cup holders. Let's go in the front and look at the redesign up there. All right, look at this massive sunroof. I'm going to open it up all the way just to give you an idea of how big that is. Holy cow, that is one big sunroof. Now, if you look at the front, of the instrument panel, you'll notice that there's a much bigger screen. All the dials are a little bit higher quality. It doesn't look like it's as much of a parts bin vehicle as it used to be, even though these heated and cooled seats do look like they came right out of an Infiniti, which they probably did. Once again, orange badging over here. Actually a very straightforward layout, relatively easy to understand. And the big news for 2020, of course, is now a lot of the safety features come standard, Tommy. Like what?
Well, like your lane keep assist, and you can actually control it all down here via this little button here, so you can turn on your audible alerts through there. And it's nice that finally for 2020 you've got a lot of that standard. This one also has features like intelligent cruise control, right?
Yep.
So things like that make it a lot more drivable every day.
The other great thing, of course, is that you do feel like you're in a much more premium vehicle. You know, in the past, the rub on the Titan has been that it looked like, you know, a previous generation Ford F-150, and with this refresh, they brought it up to a very competitive standard among full-size trucks. Now, why don't I get the Monroney out, and let's talk about the most important thing, which is going to be, well, fuel economy. 17 combined, 15 city, 21 highway, but the most important thing is this number right here, 60,180.
Wow.
Yeah, this is the Pro-4X, which means you get Bilstein shocks, you get
rear locker,
you get skid plates, you get all the good off-road goodies that you would expect in like the Ram Rebel or the Chevy Trail Boss, or even the TRD Pro Tacoma, even though the Tacoma does not have a rear locker. So if you want a rear locker and you want Japanese, this is the way to go. You also have this big old traditional shift lever, which I think is really cool, and you can manually shift right here. So a lot of goodness in this truck. I think it's time we take it for a ride, Tommy, and see how fast it is from 0 to 60, see how quiet it is, and see how good it or not rides. All right, Tommy, now one of the biggest differences, of course, is that there's a lot more tech in this vehicle. You've got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and no longer can you get the diesel. So as long as you like your Titan with a 5.6 liter V8, that's how you're going to get it.
Yeah, you can't get the single cab truck either. So that single cab work truck model is no more.
Which isn't bad, you know. I'm not sure that was a huge seller anyway. But the biggest news, I think, is that the vehicle now has a 9-speed transmission. And I like more gears because it's the one thing that really does help increase fuel economy. And let's face it, V8s go well with trucks, but they are thirsty, as I said before. In terms of driving, I like the way this drives. I've always been a fan of the Pro-4X. I think it's, you know, a great way to get into an off-road truck that is durable, dependable, and pretty darn good off-road. And we will be doing an off-road review of this, so just keep in mind that's coming as well.
So let's do our 0 to 60 mile per hour test. We've got our GPS performance timer running.
Yep.
Let me let it reset here. Okay, whenever you're ready.
I'm floored. Merging onto the highway at a mile above sea level.
There's 5 seconds. 7. And there we go.
How fast or slow was that?
Our real world testing, 9.6 seconds, 0 to 60, 465 feet. So let's talk about some of the engines that this competes with. You got the EcoBoost from Ford, both the 2.7 and the 3.5.
Yeah.
You've got a couple different V8s from GM, the 5.3 and the 6.2. Toyota, like you talked about, has their 5.7. And this is kind of right in the middle of that batch in some ways.
Yeah. I mean, if you want a diesel, if you want a 4-cylinder, if you want a bigger V8, if you want a turbocharged engine, you're going to have to look elsewhere.
Now let's see how loud it is at 60 miles an hour. Why don't you slow down to 60 here?
All right.
So we can get an even reading. And here we go. Hovering right around 63 decibels. That is very quiet.
Yeah, one of the biggest improvements we've noticed in both cars and trucks over the time we've been doing these tests is that they've gotten a lot quieter, you know?
Oh, it's amazing. And even though this is the off-road trim, which in the past would have made it hard and uncomfortable and very loud, that's not the case in this truck. This truck is quiet, it's refined, it's very comfortable.
All right, you want to try to navigate the snarfs, Tommy?
Yeah, yeah, let's give it a whirl. Where's the little voice command button?
There's no voice command button here.
Oh, there it is. I see it at the bottom left of the
there it is.
screen.
I see it. Okay, let me make this turn and we'll see if we can get a little bit of lunch at Snarfs. I think they're still doing takeout. No longer can you, unfortunately, sit in Snarfs, but you can have it to go. All right, here we go.
Please say or select a command.
Navigation.
Navigation. Please say or select a command from the displayed list.
Navigate to Snarf's Sandwiches.
Please wait. Did you mean Schlepp's sandwiches? Please say yes or say a number from the displayed list.
No.
No, go back. Navigation. Please say or select a command from the displayed list.
Navigate to Snarf's sandwiches. It should work. I think it should work.
Please wait. Did you mean Dell's Sandwiches, Ridge, New York? Please say yes or say a number from the displayed list.
Cancel. Cancel. Please cancel. Cancel.
Please say or select an item number from...
I just shut it off.
Go back. Please say or
Cancel.
select a command from the display. Go back. Please say or select a command. Canceling voice recognition.
Yeah, that worked like a charm. Good thing it's got CarPlay and Android Auto. All right.
Did you see that though? It knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
It just couldn't figure out Snarf. So we're coming up to a rough road here.
Yeah, see how the hula girl's dancing here?
Yep.
1 being she's not dancing, 10 being she's going crazy with her hula. I'm going to hit these hard bumps as much as I can. Here's a big one. Oh yeah, look at that. That big one did set her off a little bit. But all in all, it's a very comfortable and I would say well-damped truck.
These have the Pro-4X shocks as well.
Yeah, the Bilsteins. It's good, Tommy. It's got a good ride. And actually, the steering is pretty heavy, and I like it. It feels very sporty. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give her, what, a 3 or 4? Would you think that's right?
I think a 4 is spot on.
Yeah.
Another thing we need to talk about is the new infotainment system.
Yep.
So this is a 9-inch infotainment system. Even though it couldn't navigate to Snarf sandwiches through the voice commands, it's very good. It's much better than the previous generation system. Notice, for example, the colors, right? The colors are really crisp. The commands are fast. It still has a tune knob, which is exactly what I love to see. This is a great system. Good job, Nissan. Now, in order to make it look a little bit more premium, they did kind of a cheating way of adding sophistication, right?
Yep.
They lined the whole thing in piano black finish, which looks great when it's clean. However, it scratches easily and it looks bad when it's dirty. So I'm kind of on the fence about that.
Yeah, it shows a lot of dust, you know. I do like this French orange stitching. I think that's really cool. You know, orange is a happening color right now, and these guys have gone to the deep end with it, and I think that's actually a really good thing. Now, in terms of competitors, of course, it competes with, well, the Tundra as an Asian brand, but also the Silverado, the F-150,
Ram 1500?
Ram 1500, and what am I missing?
I think you got...
There's 5 of them.
Yeah, Tundra, F-150, Silverado, Ram,
Toyota.
Titan.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. You know, how does it fit in that class? Well, in the previous generation, it was, I think, in a lot of ways, especially design-wise and interior comfort, worse than the vast majority in the class. But it made up for that because it was very affordable.
Yeah, the Titan has always been just an honest-to-goodness truck, right? Which worked well for the brand until Ford and GM got into, and Ram got into, basically a truck war, and they all kept upping the amount of performance, the amount of amenities, the amount of comfort, and no longer was the value equation strong enough because, well, the other brands had gotten so much more competitive, and Nissan kind of, you know, stood by the wayside and let that happen. And finally, they answered it with this truck.
The new interior is much better.
Yep.
It's still not as good as the Ram 1500.
Nope.
But it's better than the Tundra or the Silverado, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And probably even better than the Ford in some ways. Ford's is starting to get a little bit dated too.
The ride, I think, is one of the best in class.
I do like the ride.
And capability-wise, it's a little bit low.
Yeah.
So just over 1,200 pounds of payload, just over 9,200 pounds of towing. Not all that much for a full-size truck.
No, but it does feel really well screwed together. And I gotta tell you, Tommy, you know, I usually am not a big fan of like name brand stereo systems, you know, Bose or any of the other systems out there, because to me it's just a way of getting more money for something that sounds the same. But in the past, this Fender system in a lot of the other vehicles that I've seen it in has actually been a really good upgrade. I feel like Fender is actually one of the brands that's more premium than necessarily whatever you get with the base brand.
And $60,000 is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, but you do get heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel, adaptive cruise control, this 9-inch screen, dual zone automatic climate control, 4-wheel drive, of course, rear locker. You do get a lot of stuff for that money. It's just a matter of, compared to the competition, are you going to be okay with a little bit less capability, but potentially a lot of longevity. You know, there's a little bit of a trade-off there.
Yeah, so let's go park this truck and let's find out whether you guys, or whether we think you should buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it. All right, Tommy, on the TFL scale of buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it, I'm going to give it a very strong lease it. I can't go to a buy it because it's $60,000. The payload and the towing just aren't there for that kind of a recommendation. But if you can get yourself a discount, then it's a great truck all day long. What do you say?
Well, this truck is expensive,
Yeah.
but you can get a Pro-4X Crew Cab Titan for $49,700 and some change. And for that truck, I would give a buy it for sure. The one you see, it's got to be a lease it.
Well, there you go, guys, another TFL Buddy review. And please stay tuned when we actually take this off-road and we compare it to our long-term Trail Boss to see if this indeed is more than a Trail Boss. Maybe it's the Trail Dictator, Tommy. We will find out. See you guys next time. Ciao.